Okay, welcome to the next session's Third Communist International Second Congress 1920. This is United Marxist Pact reading of the various texts within this event. And I'm terrible at introductions, but let's just get straight into it because we're continuing. We're going to read the preamble to the statutes and conditions to admission to the Communist International, and maybe we might be able to read more. We will see. It's unlikely. Let's get started. The preamble to the statutes. In London, in 1864, was established the First International Association of Workers, later known as the First International. The statutes of the International Association of Workers read as follows: that the emancipation of the working class must be carried out by the working class itself. That the struggle for emancipation of the working class does not imply a struggle for class privileges and monopolies, but for equal rights and equal obligations and the abolition of all class domination. That the struggle for the economic subjugation of the workers to the monopolists of the means of production, the sources of life, is the cause of servitude in all its forms, the cause of all social misery, mental degradation, and of political dependence. That, consequently, the economic emancipation of the working class is a great aim to which every political movement must be subordinated. That all endeavors directed to this great aim have hitherto failed because of the lack of solidarity between the various branches of industry in each country, and because of the absence of a fraternal bond of unity between the working classes of the different countries. That the emancipation of labor is neither local nor a national problem, but one of a social character embracing every civilized country, and the solution of which depends on the theoretical and practical cooperation of the most progressive countries. That the present revival of the workers' movement of the industrial countries of Europe, while awakening new hopes, contains a solemn warning against a relapse into old errors and calls for an immediate union of the hitherto disconnected movement. The Second International, which was established in Paris in 1889, undertook to continue the work of the First International. At the outbreak of the world slaughter in 1914, that is to say World War I, the Second International perished, undermined by opportunism and betrayed by its leaders who rallied to the side of the bourgeoisie. They said, "Glory to the fatherland." They refused revolutionary defeatism. They called to support their own bourgeois states in the inter-imperialist conflict, rather than organizing against them. Continuing. The Third Communist International, established in March 1919 in Moscow, the capital city of the Russian Socialist Federative Socialist Republic, solemnly proclaims to the whole world that it takes upon itself the task of continuing and completing the great cause begun by the First International Association of Workers. The Third Communist International was formed at a moment when the imperial slaughter of 1914 to 1918, in which the imperialist bourgeoisie of the various countries sacrificed 20 million men, had come to an end. Far more than 20 million, but okay. Remember the imperialist war. This is the first appeal of the Communist International to every toiler, wherever he may live and whatever language he may speak. Remember that owing to the existence of the capitalist system, a small group of imperialists had the opportunity during 4 long years of compelling the workers of various countries to cut each other's throats. Remember that this imperialist war had reduced Europe and the whole world to a state of extreme destitution and starvation. Remember that unless the capitalist system is overthrown, a repetition of this criminal war is not only possible, but is inevitable. Yeah. The Communist International sets itself the aim of fighting with all means, also with arms in hand, for the overthrow of the international bourgeoisie and the creation of an international Soviet Republic as a transition to the complete abolition of the state. The Communist International considers the dictatorship of the proletariat an essential means for the liberation of humanity from the horrors of capitalism, and regards the Soviet form of government as the historically necessary form of this dictatorship. The imperial sword linking the fate of workers of each country particularly closely with the fate of the workers of every other country. Emphasized once again what was pointed out in the statutes of the First International, that the emancipation of labor is neither local nor a national problem, but one of a social and international character. The Communist International breaks once and for all with the traditions of the Second International, which, in reality, only recognize the white race. The task of the Communist International is to emancipate the workers of the whole world. In its ranks are fraternally united men of all colors, white, yellow, and black, the toilers of the entire world. I would like to take this. We're going to fold the international with the party organization because I think it's fair to say that you can't actually separate the two. Okay. The Communist International fully and unreservedly upholds the gains of the great proletarian revolution in Russia, the first victorious socialist revolution in the world's history, and calls upon all workers to follow the same road. The Communist International makes it its duty to support, by all the power at its disposal, every Soviet republic wherever it may be formed. The Communist International is aware that for the purpose of speedy achievement of victory, the International Association of the Workers, which is struggling for the abolition of capitalism and the establishment of communism, must possess a firm and centralized organization. Taking that. To all intents and purposes, the Communist International should represent a single universal communist party, of which the parties operating in the different countries form individual sections. The organization of the Communist International is directed towards securing for the workers of every country the possibility at any given moment of obtaining the maximum aid from the organized workers of the other countries. Okay. Let's take a look at this. With all means in hand. This isn't actually needed. Now I'm thinking about it. But the next bits are. Here we go. 1. The party must organize on a social and international basis, not a local or economic one. Local and in parentheses national. The party must reject all chauvinism, especially with the recognition that we seek to emancipate the workers of the whole world. No bigotry is acceptable. Communist International, the party must be firm and centralized as an organization. The party should be an international with all local national parties or communist parties being individual sections. All national communist parties should be able to obtain aid from the organized workers of the other countries. Which, you know, maybe this idea holds some merit. What if, for example, we got all the workers together and said, we are going to focus on this one country. We're going to send every single bit of resources, manpower, and whatnot over here. And we're going to turn it into a socialist republic. And then from there, with some basis in actually having a nation wherein we can springboard off of, then move out from there. Just a thought. I'm not sure if that would really fly, but it's worth maybe talking about. But yeah, this all seems pretty clear, as with all the international stuff so far. So we will sign out and continue on our next bit, the conditions of admission to Economist International. Thanks for joining.